Mr. Speaker, let's say I take one of my 10 grandkids, Barrett Houston, to a basketball game he's playing in. He gets hit in the face with a basketball, so we go to the doctor to see if his nose is broken. The doctor asks Barrett Houston this question: is this the first time you've been hit in the face with a basketball, the second time, or have you a habit of being hit in the face by a basketball? Barrett says, I don't know. I've got to know because, you see, I've got this code book here, and the law requires that I make sure I put in the code book the way you were hurt by the basketball in which time, because there are 5 codes for being hit in the face by a basketball. And let's say he doesn't know. Well, the doctor has to be accurate in how he diagnoses being hit in the face by the basketball, or the doctor's in trouble. Let's say I take another one of my grandsons, Jackson. We go hunting, but he happens to get assaulted by a wild turkey. We go to the doctor, and the doctor says, hey, I got to know exactly how you were hurt by that by that turkey. Because there is a code for being assaulted by a turkey for the first time. There is a code for being assaulted by the turkey a second time. There are 9 codes. The doctor must get the right code, or he's in violation of the law about being assaulted by the turkey. Seems 9 codes for turkey assault is a bit silly. Right now, Mr. Speaker, there are 18,000 of these codes. Doctors must be accurate when they fill out the diagnosis of a patient who comes and sees them. Stay with me, Mr. Speaker. Soon there will be 140,000 of these medical codes that doctors must get right, or they're in trouble by the federal government. The new code system is called ICD-10. For example, you're injured at a chicken coop. That's code number Y972. You're injured at an art gallery, you fall down, that's Y92250. There are even 3 new codes for being injured when you walk into a lamppost. You walk into a lamppost for the first time, that's one code. You walk into a lamppost for the second time, oh, that's a different code. You walk into a lamppost habitually, yet that is even a different code, and the doctor must get it right, because he's in violation of federal regulators if he doesn't get it right. The doctors I've talked to say this is an expensive distraction from treating patients. Well, no kidding. It's red tape, it's bureaucracy, and this is what happens when clueless big government here in Washington starts telling people out in the workplace, doctors and patients, what they must do, and when government intrudes into our lives with more regulations. Government continues to make things more complicated. Doctors, we're really in the business of helping the sick and the injured and saving lives. Do they really have the time, the money, to translate a complicated 140,000 code book when they diagnose everything that happens? But they don't have a choice. If they miscode, they do not get paid. Even more so, they face the threat of being fined by the federal government. There's more. To set up this new 140,000 code philosophy, it's going to cost an average single practitioner doctor $80,000. Now, isn't that lovely? It's a practice of 5 to 10 people. That's going to cost that practice $250,000 to comply with federal regulations, the new code book. In my opinion, Mr. Speaker, when regulators go to work every day down the street in one of these big office buildings, they sit around a big oak table, they pull out their lattes and their iPads, and they ask the question to each other, who shall we regulate today? And they type out a few regulations, they send it out to the fruited plain and the masses. They don't care about the cost or the effect or whether the regulators make any sense. They just do it anyway. And we have to deal with this. These new codes, not going to make one sick person well. But yet, doctors must comply with these new codes, or the code police is going to punish them. Doctors want to take care of patients, but the federal government is forcing 140,000 complicated, unreasonable new codes on all of us that are hard to decipher. Maybe we should sequester these new codes and Where are those World War II code breakers when we need them most? And that's just the way it is. I yield back.